Hi, how you doing? I'm Scott White. We work with a lot of organizations like yourselves and dental practices. I was just going to review your site and go over some details that could be beneficial for you. So when you pull up your site right now, so what's going on is obviously we're going to talk about the website and then dive into more details as time goes on with what's going on. So if you look at your site, so first pull this up, the video pops up, and this is a good video, but it's something that would go to your patients from an email or engagement, not something where if I was a new prospect that came to your site that was looking to become a dentist, they don't really want this. It's distracting. It's not something that should be, first line of sight of what I should see. So you come in here, the good thing from a design standpoint, your navigation doesn't take up much room. Obviously you don't use any of these spaces over here on your site. Colors are good. Phone number is really bright. And here, request an appointment is real straightforward, and that's good. So from a design standpoint, it has a fairly easy flow, has some reviews that people can go to and get information. There should be a good call to action. Typically sliders don't work that well. They convert less customers or patients in that matter. So diving into that, you have a lot of content, which is good from an SEO standpoint. So overall design, that's fine. But diving into, the mobile site, gets a little more messy. Obviously, more and more people are using their mobile phones these days. So making sure that's fixed is crucial. So it can be cleaned up a little bit, maximized from the area space that you use in here. Diving into the website speed, this is important because you can lose conversions dramatically based off of if it loads for longer than 3 seconds. So it takes about 4.3 seconds on this platform on how long it takes to load. So fixing those things could be improved from a conversion standpoint. On this platform, it's a 93 out of 100, loads around the same time, so which is good. Mobile is loading around 88 out of 100, so it's still good. Obviously, more and more people are using their mobile phones to access things, so it's important that mobile is lined up correctly. The design's still a little, clunky as well as composed to this. It should be very clear, phone number right in their face, which does that, and the booking, the offer, and so forth. And obviously, if you're sending, it's a new prospect coming to your page, you should be sending it to a separate landing page that's more geared for the customer journey on that aspect as opposed to just the home page itself, and that would get you to convert better. Diving into your social media, so we look into the social media aspect of your site. So you have about 382 people like this. Your posts seem to be fairly generic from that aspect. You do have some video things that are good, but really poor engagement. Nobody's liking, commenting, and so forth. So that's crucial to get that up, and that goes into the brand and so forth. Same thing with this. You have a very generic post in here. People want to do business with people that they like and they trust and they can engage and be around. So being more upfront with who you are, what your story is, and so forth, that's going to be better from an image standpoint here, as well as in your logo here, and having that congruent across all your platforms. From your Instagram, it doesn't look like your Instagram link is working from the site, or maybe I clicked that wrong. So, or it's possible you could have got rid of it at this point. But anyway, you have your profile here on Twitter, but it's not being used. Looks like your account is suspending. Not sure what happened there. On Pinterest, same thing with here, the logo here, and then the logo across here. Isn't as welcoming, really generic post and so forth. So really, I would recommend focusing on just one platform predominantly, not trying to spread yourself thin. You probably have a Yelp review, so having Yelp reviews is crucial. We didn't really see that. So engaging with people's social media is important. So now let's talk about from ads that you're running. So on Facebook, you're running this video ad and so forth. When people click on it, they're going to go to this page here, and it pops up again. It's going to produce really low conversions if you're sending them to just your main website. You obviously want to generate leads, and you want to generate new customers. So getting more effective in that aspect is crucial. Let's go back to the ad library, and then the other one, here's the generic post, so forth. This one, I just pulled up that. So when you click on it, get directions, it just comes into here. Looks like it just goes into your Facebook page or yeah, so I'm not sure why that ad's being run either. So from an ad standpoint, those can definitely be improved. So one big thing when it comes to running ads is you want to be able to track your data. So obviously you're doing the same thing in Google, and you're spending money that costs you probably a decent amount, and it's not set up correctly. Getting your tracking installed is very crucial. So right now you don't even have your Facebook pixel installed here. So obviously you're not setting up correct ads or ads that's going to really drive customers in your door. There's a much more effective way you can do that, and I can send you a video that kind of breaks that down in more detail, or we can set up a call and discuss this more. And so in here, if I pull up here, you got website call metrics. There's an error there. You have Google Analytics in here, Google Ads remarketing tag. So it's fine, you're at least remarketing, but it doesn't look like you have conversion tags set up standpoint. So nowadays what you can do with the customer is take them on through that process, you know, engage them more effectively, meet them where they are, and get them to turn into actual patients. And then obviously from a tracking standpoint, you can know like, hey, you spent $100, you got 10 leads, one of them converted into a customer, it costs you $10 per lead. Every 10 leads, you typically convert one customer out of those 10 leads. So if you spend 100, whatever your initial consultation and whatever your long-term customer value is, typically when you convert them, dentists have a long-term customer value of, you know, 3-6 years. So at that point, if you spend $100 to get one new patient, it's worth every penny. And tracking that is so crucial, and that's why, you know, obviously marketing on the internet or even, you know, elsewhere where you can track that data is so valuable. And so tracking is the first step in getting that, so you can create a math problem to solve that basically gets you new patients just like clockwork, and that makes it more scalable and so forth. Diving into more details, I'll go over this in other video explaining all this. Looking at your SEO from the standpoint, SEO we talk about is more of a long game strategy. From it's all about content and getting the backlinks, but there's some general stuff. So right now out of this little tool we use, it's got a bit of B- score. So your title tags is basically dentist, Little Elm, Texas, family dentistry. So it's not really that compelling, but it has keywords, keyword rich, and that's fine. Meta description standpoint, you have a good number of words that you're using and so forth. It's not too long, it's not too short. You have keyword rich, and that's fine. One thing you can improve is the header tag and so forth. And again, when it comes back to, you do have some broken links, unfriendly URLs, and I would highly recommend that you fix the security of your site with an HTTPS standpoint. That needs to be fixed. So those are things you can do right away, but from an SEO standpoint, it's really about building up content that people engage with, that then drives more people to look at your site, and obviously gets more traffic and eyes looking on it. SEO, a lot of times we don't recommend anymore because it's a lot more costly and it's much more of a long game. It might take much longer time to get you ranked, where we can do paid advertising and know like, hey, if we're tracking this, if we spend $100, we get 10 leads, and you convert one lead after that, and obviously it makes sense from that aspect. Obviously we have a handful of different platforms that we utilize in programs that we would do where we can just generate leads for your company, or we can work as more of like your chief marketing officer, where we redesign the site, fix the messaging, get everything congruent across all your social media platforms, get more engagement, and really focus on building the brand and making it much of a long-term play from that aspect. And then obviously another one where we do SEO, we incorporate social media, we do all the other things in that regards. Obviously I'm going to send you another video that kind of breaks down everything in more detail, and you can kind of see, and it'll explain the reasons why these things are important, and it will benefit your business even more. Thank you for your time, and hopefully this was helpful.